concept of faster payments or immediate payments is the ability to speed up the window in which payments are made and potentially even cleared and settled within the system. For example, ACH in North America today takes a window of 3 days for funds to clear and settle between financial institutions. That window is being shrunk down to same day. But then how do you get that window down even further to within seconds so that funds can be moved between institutions in a near real-time fashion? Geographies like the United Kingdom, Brazil, Singapore have been using faster payments for a number of years. There are other countries that are starting their initiatives, like Australia with NPP, and even the United States have kicked off the Faster Payments Task Force, looking at how they can speed up payments within the United States. I think a few problems have to be solved first. So how to make the system ubiquitous, how to gain stakeholder engagement across the entire ecosystem. So that's everything from regulators to government institutions to the banks themselves, both small, medium, and large banks, as well as the downstream merchants and retailers that participate in a faster payment scheme. So there are business challenges, business cases. I think the financials around how to implement a new infrastructure, implementing a new faster payments system is certainly a challenge that is being worked on in many different geographies, because I think faster payments has the opportunity to displace and even cannibalize existing payment rails. So people talk about use cases of person-to-person payments, simple use cases of how to use faster payments, but I think there's also the opportunity to start moving some of the existing traditional traffic over existing rails, whether it's wires or cards, or even other like ACH transactions, onto the new faster payments rails. What is the business case to be able to support that new infrastructure? And that's, I think, a problem that many of the banks are grappling with across many different geographies. I think the other challenge around this is a technical challenge. So how do you actually implement a new system? What are the standards around that system? Is it ISO 20022? Is, to be able to do cross-border faster payments? How to make it secure? How to make it safe? Is tokenization a part of that answer? I'll say that there's disruption in the industry, and I would actually say that's a healthy thing. I think that disruption is causing innovation to happen, and I think that's going to cause banks, the regulators, everyone in the industry to innovate, to protect the revenue and profit that they generate from payments. On average, banks generate anywhere from 35 to 40% of their revenue from payments. It's a significant part of the bank, driving a significant part of the profit, and that's projected to grow over the next few years. Tokenization is actually not only needed for Asia Pacific, I think it's needed worldwide. And we see, just like I mentioned, some of the disruptors, some of the new entrants into the payments market are going to drive some of that tokenization opportunity. So things like Apple Pay, for example, Android Pay, Google Pay. Being able to tap the phone is going to require a tokenization solution. So you need a token service provider to provision the information, the card information that gets stored on the phone. But you also need a TSM, a trusted service manager, to be able to route the transactions. And I think those new entrants are going to drive the adoption of tokenization, but I think there's many other use cases for tokenization beyond tapping a phone, for example. And I think faster payments, real-time payments, are another use case for tokenization to be adopted to help make the faster payment systems that are springing up around the world safe and ubiquitous. But I think it's going to end up being the issuing banks that support tokenization and help drive a lot of the standards as the technology matures. The first is always keep an eye on the future. Where is the innovation happening? Keep an eye on what's happening around faster payments. Make sure that the system that you're looking at can handle from the ground up transaction by transaction, real-time faster payments. The next thing that I would recommend is this idea of convergence. So the systems that you're looking to replace are typically in silos, and you have individual operations teams supporting those silos of applications. I think the next generation platforms are going to be able to process multiple payment types, not just a single payment type. So moving to a next generation platform that can process ACH to electronic check to SWIFT to SEPA to the faster payments initiatives that are within your geography, your country, need to be within a single type of system. And there's tremendous operational efficiencies that can be gained from that, both technical efficiencies, so same architecture, same disaster recovery plan, same failover plans, but more importantly, I think there's human resources efficiencies So you could have the same operations team for check as you do for ACH, as you do for wire. The third area that I would consult the bank on would be around analytics, payments insights. What do you do with the data that's flowing through a next generation platform? So if you're processing multiple payment types through a single next generation platform, what can you do with that data and how can you monetize that data? The real sizzle around this is around that analytics angle. So as faster payments become more pervasive in our industry, the need for real-time fraud solutions is definitely picking up. The ability to score a transaction as it's flowing through the system real time through cognitive analytics, delivering a real-time score, machine learning to make that system more predictive is an example of one use case of how to use analytics in a next generation system that can handle faster payments. The system could also look at things like real-time intraday liquidity. So this idea of analytics and cognitive learning and being able to apply those types of systems to this data flowing through a next generation hub is something that the bank should certainly be looking at.